Hello everyone, I'm Tam, and I'm back with another Spurious dish episode. Today we have about 1 pound of beef meat, round roast. Ideally something more fatty like brisket. However, I couldn't find brisket, so this is what it is. So just 1 pound of like beef meat, and then we have beets as in the vegetable beets. I have about 6 of these. I'm also I'm expecting 2 serving sizes, so half a pound of beef, 3 beets, that kind of ratio, because we're making some beets soup. So that's the goal here. I have some dried Guajillo chili peppers. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. I've never used these. I think they smell very kind of sweet and not very hot, so it should be a nice flavor. We'll use 2 of them to flavor the soup. So 1 per serving is the same kind of ratio. And then we have some bagels here. So about 3 bagels per serving, because we're going to reuse the stems here. These stems are not very not very tasty in a soup, because it's still kind of like crunchy and kind of hard. So the texture is kind of weird. When you cook the beets here, it kind of softens up like a potato. However, the stems are still kind of hard, so it's kind of awkward to eat. The leaves will soften as well, like a spinach, so it's fine. We don't want to throw away the stems because they're still kind of like nice to eat. So we're gonna reuse the stem, chop into like very small bits, with butter and garlic, unsalted butter and garlic, and make ourselves a kind of like a beets stem garlic buttery spread for the bagel. So that's kind of like the side dish with the accompanying dish with the soup itself. So you have a soup, beets, um, beef and beets, plus a bit of chili flavor, and then you have 3 bagels and a nice buttery spread to use on a bagel to eat. So that's the idea. I may need salt. This is unsalted, so I may have to use salt to add more flavor, to extract more flavor. Salt is usually used to extract more flavor, not really add more flavor, because it removes the water content, so it kind of enhances the flavor that already exists. We'll see. Depends on how much flavor I can get out of the stem and also the bulb of garlic. And yeah, that's basically it. So so the plan is to chop the beef here into small cubes, roughly like half-inch cubes, half an inch by half-inch cubes. So kind of like a spoon bite-sized cubes. I think 1 inch is probably too much. Actually, no, somewhere around there, like 1 inch to half an inch. We'll see after I actually do it. And for the beets, I'm going to cut out the stem. So you see, for example, here. So just cut this part out, and then I'll save the leaves here. The leaves I'll cut into like small slivers. And to put into the soup, the beets I will wash and then kind of peel off with a peeler, and then I'll slice these into 1 inch cubes. So this is like half an inch. This is like I guess this should be bigger than this in terms of like the cube. So maybe like 0.75 inch for this, 1 inch for this. That's kind of the idea. These will be cut into very nice thin strips to add more flavor and also give more nutrients to the actual soup. And I'll wash these stems and cut them to like very small bits, like maybe like 0.25 long pieces. The garlic I'll mince up into very small bits, so like just minced up very nice and neatly, so it kind of like becomes part of the background for the buttery spread. I'm using 8 tablespoons of butter, which seems like a lot. However, this is like across 2 serving sizes, so really you have 4 tablespoons of butter plus like 3 bagels here, and the soup itself. So it's kind of a very full meal. You can use more or less, I guess, depending on your preference. The bagels I will toast at the end using my using the toaster, or you can also just use a pan. Put the bagel upside down, let it kind of like cook like that. You don't need any oil. Just cook it, move it around often so it doesn't stick to the pan, and that's about it. Yeah, so I'll come back when I'm ready for the next part. The beef is about 1/2 inch cubes, roughly. I decided to make it smaller because I realized that I have a lot of beets, like way more than I probably should. This may actually make 4 serving sizes instead of like 2, so that's why I cut them into smaller pieces, so that when you scoop out the soup, you get more beef and not just like the beets itself. And this is the stem there, like a 0.25 inch long minced up garlic. The butter is 8 tablespoons of butter, all melted down. I'm using a bigger pot to make sure that it properly cooks. So I'm still using 2 of these. I mean, since I'm expecting 4 serving sizes, I guess I could do like I can add 2 more, but here I think these will be fine. That's as fine as is. Yeah, it's fine. So that's okay. The first thing we're gonna do is actually boil this inside a pot for about 1/2 hour, so that way it releases a lot of like the juice, the beef juice, the fat, and it also cooks the beef a little bit. Because then after that, I will add the actual rest of the ingredients, so the beets, the leaves, the leaves which I sliced up very thinly, and also the chili pepper here, and let that cook for like an hour. Because if I throw everything in at once, all at the same time, the beets will become too soft and kind of just crush itself. If I don't cook the beef, if I don't cook the beef long enough, it doesn't release enough flavor. So we're going to give the beef 1/2 hour head start, and then we'll add in the beets to kind of cook. So that's the idea. As I'm doing that, I'm also going to slowly kind of like fry these up, so to speak, to make them more soft and tender. And then I will, once that's done, I will put that into like a bowl, and then put that to the refrigerator so that it re-solidifies into a spread, a buttery spread. So that's the plan. I don't know how much water I need. So let's just do the beef here. I will not add salt right now. I think near the end I may add salt to see, like if it needs salt. We'll see how far the flavors of the actual veggies go before I try to add anything else. All right, so that is a lot. Put that there. Okay. All right, so probably let's just try 4 cups of water. 4 cups of water, and then we'll see how the gut kind of goes. I don't want to add more water when I want to add more water later on because that may dilute the flavor. So I might as well do it all at once now. There are a lot of beets, so kind of what it is. this is kind of slow, so let me just grab it by actual thing itself here. And be careful not to splash back my face. So like this. Yeah, there's a lot of beef, so probably 8 cups of water. 8 cups of water be more sufficient. Yeah, probably like 8 cups of water. That's what I'm looking at here. So roughly 8 cups of water here. Just put it on. See, it's about there's about 1 to 2 inch of water above the meat itself. So we'll let that kind of go for half an hour. Let it simmer half an hour. So as I'm doing that, I'm also going to start on these minced up veggies here. So we'll do this. This is turned off right now. And kind of just toss all at once. The stem is kind of hard, so we're going to let it kind of like gently become softer. To take half an hour, same as the beef here, to release the fat. Roughly half an hour. And I'm also going to move it around so that way it evenly distributes. So that way the butter kind of like absorbs everything. There. Move it around, a bit more, like that. And then we'll kind of like make it evenly down like that. And let this cook. So bring it up to a high heat, and then let it kind of just like gently kind of like also simmer, gently cook as well. The garlic already releases a lot of flavor, I can tell. So like medium to high, roughly there. And we'll let this kind of gently just kind of like sizzle in the background. This needs to be brought up to a gentle boil for about half an hour. And then we can add in the other ingredients at the same time. The leaves will cook faster, so they become more kind of tender, more like I guess like a noodle firmness. The beets should be like still kind of a bit firm near the end, so they should hold their kind of like crunch. And then this is just for flavoring. Afterwards, we'll take this out, so it's just for the aromatics right now. Okay, so I'll come back when I'm ready for the next part. That looks pretty nice and golden and crispy. I turn it down to super low, so all the way to the end a few times to kind of like moderate it so it doesn't overly fry and use up all the oil. So that looks pretty good. I test tasted the stem, and the stem is kind of soft and kind of a bit mushy, so it's nice. The the soup here is pretty good. I removed the impurities, the cloudy junk part, using my ladle a few times. So we want something that's kind of clear, crystal clear. So all the impurities on the top, just take it out and just throw it away. That's just from the blood and the kind of like junk you don't really want to taste in a soup. It doesn't add more flavor or anything else. Okay, so that's that. I'll put this into a bowl, and then I'll put it into the refrigerator to kind of like re-solidify into a solid. And this soup continues to grow. So let me do this first, and then I'll sign off. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is put the beets in. Oh wow, yeah, you definitely want to be careful. Screw it, you know, it's fine. Yeah, be careful because the water is hot and your hands are not hot. You just gotta be careful here. Carefully add it in, like dropping bombs. Slowly, gently. So yeah, it kind of like solidifies. Oh, it kind of goes slowly, gently. Take your time. Plenty of beets to go around. A little bit more. Right, so this is one bowl here, and then one plate down. Alright, that's one plate down. And this is the other plate with the leaves of the plant. This is actually a lot of beets. This is like twice more than I should be put into it. This is like, yeah, that's okay. That's fine. It's just a lot of beets. It's a lot of beets, man. Wow, it's a lot of beets. It's way more than should be inside this soup, but that's okay. We'll proceed, and then the leaves. Look at that. Okay. Before I do anything else, let me just move it around here so it's kind of even. Well, it looks really nice actually. There's not enough there's not enough beef here though, so it's kind of terrible. There's lots of beets, not enough beef. Should be another pound of beef here. So just from tasting it right now, see if tasting it now. Tastes kind of hearty. The beets dilute the flavor a lot actually. The beets add a lot of like watery flavor, so it's kind of diluted. I'm gonna add the chili pepper here, 2 of them. I think I'm actually gonna adding 2 more because the water is so diluted. The broth is so diluted right now. So yeah, 2 more. So it has a lot more flavor. Here. So there's 4 of these chili pepper inside. 1 per serving. 1 per serving size. I'm just gonna push it down so it kind of like submerges a little bit. 1 per serving size. So it should add more flavor here. Let me just kind of like test it a little bit. It's probably too early to test it, so let's see. Yeah, it's starting to definitely come through. Okay. So we'll let this kind of like simmer for like an hour, and that should release a lot of flavor. It looks kind of like kind of nice actually, like a strawberry smoothie kind of like a color. Okay, I'll come back to you guys when I'm ready for the next part. And that is our final product. You have the beets soup and some accompanying toast bagel with like the buttery spread. So, sorry, let me slowly kind of like do a flyby, see what we're talking about here. Oh, well. New. And here we are. That's actually a much better. That's actually a much better thumbnail than my original plan. Okay, so yeah, I took one bagel, toasted it so it's nice and brown, not too burnt, just brown, and then I added the spread, the buttery spread. See, 1/4 of the buttery spread. It's solidified in the refrigerator during the rest of the soup cooking time. So I took about 1/4 of the soup for that bagel and just toasted it and then applied the spread here. Let me actually close this so it doesn't get instead of close it that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is what we have, you know. I wish there was more meat to the veggie. I used too much beets, I should use half less, so it looks a bit more appealing. Anyway, so let's see what it tastes like. That is a test. Always a test to see what it tastes like. I didn't add any salt, so there's no salt. This is just from the ingredients. Oh, and I also threw away the I threw away the chili pepper. So make sure you do that, because the only reason I put them in there is to add more flavor. That's about it. It's not to actually eat them. So the smell of the soup. It smells like beets, very fresh and clean. You can't really smell the beef, only the beets, not the beef. Okay, so let's see what the broth tastes like. The broth, pretty clear looking. It's very it's very gentle and kind of refreshing. It feels like a nice veggie broth. It's not too heavy. Yeah, and the beets add a very sweet flavor. The chili pepper adds like a mild hotness to it. It's not spicy. It's just kind of hot, a little bit hot, like using black pepper. And the chili also adds a bit of sweetness to the aroma too. Yeah, it's really nice. You don't need more salt. It's just no salt needed. So let's see what the beets taste like. It's still kind of firm. It's not too firm. It's like kind of like a kind of bread crunchy firmness. It's really nice. And the leaf of the beets itself. Let's see what it tastes like. It's really soft. It tastes like spinach a little bit. That's nice. Alright, the actual beef itself, the beef. Oh, That's way too firm. That's too firm. Too firm. It's too firm now. It's like kind of hard, like a rock kind of hard. I guess I could have I could have taken the beef out, let the beets cook in the soup for like half an hour, and then add the beef back in. So half an hour just beef, half an hour just beets, and then half an hour with both of them together. So that way the beef doesn't cook too hard, too long. That's something else I can do. This is a really nice broth. It's kind of like light and gentle. It's a nice broth. All right, now the bagel here with the buttery garlic beet stem part of it. Smells incredible. The butter and garlic have a really nice smell. You can't really smell the beet stem itself. It's kind of like not there. See what it tastes like. Oh wow, it's really nice. The stem is like so soft. It kind of just like melts. It just melts in your mouth. Everything here kind of melts in your mouth, and it has a bit of a different texture, so it's nice. That's really nice. It also feels kind of heavy because of the butter. The butter has a lot of fat, so it feels kind of heavy. So it kind of contrasts the lightness of the soup with the heaviness of the butter bread. Mm. The bread is not too toasted. It's like slightly toasted, so it's not too crunchy. So the bottom is still kind of like soft, so it's nice. Mm. Mm. Oh. This would be a very nice like soup to come home to after like a long day of work in the field, because it just has a nice contrast. The broth is very light. The broth is very light and gentle, and this is kind of like very heavy. The butter. The only thing I have to complain about is that there's not enough meat to the veggie, because it's my fault. I use way too much beef and not enough actual like meat. Other than that, like it's everything else is kind of the same. So 4 serving sizes, like 1, 2, 3, and for sure another 3 like scoop of this size, and also 3 more bagels. All right, folks, have a good day, everyone.